Okay, so welcome back to another session of the Relaxing Fertility Yoga sponsored by the Fertility Partnership. So my name is Julie, for any of you who haven't met me on here before. And apologies for last week. As if you were here last week, you know that I was on my way back to my home in the UK, and we were staying at an Airbnb, and the Wi-Fi was pretty dodgy. But I am home now, which means, unless GigaClear suddenly has some issues, I should be okay with my connection this evening. So also, for those of you who have only been doing this in the new year, because I was in Italy the whole time because of the lockdowns here, and being with my partner, who's Italian, and his family lives in Italy, and they weren't in lockdown in Italy. So it was just a little bit easier to be there than here. But I say all of that to say, for those of you who did not do yoga with me on this session before the new year, being home means that my dogs and cats might run around in the background. I just took the dogs out for quite a big walk. Well, not a big walk, but they're old, so big walk for them. And they're pretty much sound asleep here. I will briefly show them to you because, oh, that's one dog and one cat. And then the other dog is there. She wants to do yoga. She wants to do the relaxation part. Sorry, knocked the microphone. So just to say, I say that because every now and then they can make noise. And if at any point you hear the cat bells or the little claws on the floor, or if they bark for any reason, see if you can just let it be part of life, part of the present moment. So not good or bad, but just other creatures doing their thing, also being alive right now. So we're going to start. People keep coming in. So, but we are going to start now. So as always, I just really want to invite you to practice with kindness to your body and a sense of compassion for wherever you are, both in your body and in your mind. We're still in the middle of a very difficult global situation. So if you're feeling a bit low, firstly, you're not alone. Luna's telling you you're not alone. But secondly, just see if you can see if you can sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, so not only are you not alone, but there's that sense that sometimes we can judge ourselves for how we're feeling, in the same way that we might judge our bodies. And actually, is that really going to serve you, or serve the people around you? It's okay to have a hard time. It's okay to experience frustration, and it's okay to feel low. Hopefully in this session, you'll feel a little uplifted by the end. But again, just whatever you experience is okay. I'm going to stop talking now. So, let's start with that centering and breathing. So we are going to move into we're going to start with the centering and breathing, and then we move into some warm-ups, and then we flow through some postures. Last week we did a lot for the chest, the shoulders, the back. This week we'll go back to some of the poses that really help with things like blood flow for the uterus. We did that session a few weeks ago, and we'll do maybe some of the more relaxing poses tonight, but we'll just see where we go. Okay. So to start, you always have the same two options at the beginning, which is that you can either sit up nice and tall. However, if you've been typing away all day, sitting at a desk all day, you might want to just lie down now, in which case you can lie down in one of two ways. You can either come down with your knees bent and your feet on the floor, and that's better if you have lower back sensitivities. Or you can just extend the legs all the way out, letting them flop and splay. Just realized the dog water bowl's on, so I'm going to turn that off. So once you find your centering position, either sitting up tall or lying down on the ground, just close your eyes and take a few rolls of the shoulders. So you're going to inhale and roll the shoulders up. Oh, and exhale them down and back. And again. And one more. And then just relax your shoulders down. Relax your hands either facing up or down. And then close your eyes again if they're not yet closed. And take a few deep inhales through the nose, with exhales sighing or blowing the air out of the mouth. And just do this a few times. Inhaling calm. Exhaling, sighing out, letting go of any stress or any tension. And then once you've sighed out a few times, just come back to the natural rhythm of your breath. Notice your breath. Notice where it lands in the body, and what it can tell you about this moment in your body. And then check in with your mind and notice the quality of your mind, how open or closed it is, how busy or quiet. And just notice without judgment, without labeling anything as good or bad. And then check in with your heart, with your emotional body. And just notice how you're feeling. And try to be with whatever is, again, without judgment. And then check in with your body and just notice the quality of your body, where you're feeling what, how you're feeling overall. And again, practice being a non-judgmental witness to your experience. And take the awareness and bring it back to your breath. And just start to deepen the breath through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Take the breath down into the belly so that the belly rises with the inhale. Exhale out the nose and feel the belly roll back towards the spine. So we inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls. And then deepen the breath further. Inhale through the nose, fill up, belly, ribs, chest, expanding all the way up through the inhale. Exhale out the nose, chest, ribs, and belly contract. Just take a few deep breaths like that. So this is your Dirga breath. This 3-part breath, inhaling, filling up belly, ribs, chest. Exhaling, releasing, chest, ribs, belly. And if you are newer to pranayama, to yogic breathing, just stay with this. But for those of you a little more familiar, or just anyone wanting to give it a try, you can come into your ujjayi, or your ocean wave sounding breath. And to come into that ujjayi breath, it's a bit like you're fogging and unfogging a mirror, but through the nose. And so by that, what I mean is it's the same epiglottal constriction that you would create when you fog a mirror. So if you were to hold a handheld mirror out in front of you and you were going to fog it with your mouth, you would exhale. And then if you were going to reverse it, now, of course, doing that through the mouth, it gets a little tickly. And the idea is that you make that same constriction in the epiglottis as you breathe, but with the mouth closed and through the nose. So this is the ocean wave sounding breath. And if you're just trying it out for the first time, sometimes when you're learning, you might activate the vocal cords, but the vocal cords actually aren't part of this breath. So just have a play with it if you want. And we will take about 5 more rounds of breath here. Start to mentally ready yourself for movement now. And just in your own time and in your own way, draw some movement back into your body, just letting yourself stretch, roll around, yawn, sigh, do whatever you need. And then from here, I can't remember. We might have done the same start last week, though it will be different, the session. But I'd like us to start in a way we don't typically start, which is to start on hands and knees. So what we are going to do, people are still coming in. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to come up onto hands and knees, bringing the knees in line with the hips and the wrists in line with the shoulders. Now, for those of you that might have quite a hard floor under you, one thing that you might want to do is to put a folded up towel or blanket under your knees just to protect the knees against the hard floor. And that even can include if you're using a mat, because sometimes the mats can be quite thin. Another option is that you can put a fold in your mat and you can bring the knees up onto that fold. And that just protects the bone of your knee against the floor. All right. It's not about being stronger or fitter, just about loving up your body and keeping it happy. So now we're going to spread the fingers nice and wide. And so we've got, again, knees and hips, wrists and shoulders. And then we're going to take some cat cows or cat dogs. So we're going to arch. So we roll the shoulders back. We lift through the sits bones. We inhale, lifting up here. And then exhale, tuck the chin in towards your chest and round up. And again, inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Take one more. And then bring yourself back to a neutral tabletop. And one of the things that we avoid in these sessions are deep twists, just because deep twists aren't believed to be great either for IVF or for pregnancy for that matter. But we can take a very gentle twist here that's hardly a twist at all. So if you're thinking, so for those of you who are seasoned yogis and you're missing your twists, take these light forms where you're not really compressing anything. So what you're going to do is just take your left forearm onto the floor, turn to look past the right shoulder. And this should feel nice on that left shoulder as well as you turn to look up past that right side. And here, there's no problem. This is a gentle twist, all good. Okay. And that's it. And we're going to then inhale, take the left hand back up. And exhale, take the right hand down, turn to look past that left shoulder. Take that right hand back. All right. From here, we're going to really do something quite nice for the shoulders and the upper back. So what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to come down onto your elbows, onto your forearms, but keep your bum up in the air. So we're going to come into a puppy pose. So like the puppy sleeping over there, except for she's not ready to play right now. She's sleeping, but like a dog, and she's not a puppy either, but like a dog getting ready to pounce or to play. You're then going to walk your arms out in front of you and take your forehead down to the ground. Oh, and this is just a lovely, lovely opener for your shoulders and your upper back. Oh, and just breathe there. Take another breath. Oh, and then gently walk yourself all the way back up to your tabletop. And then from there, I want you to swing your rib cage out to the right. And just imagine your rib cage is this barrel that is pegged between your shoulders and your hips. And then you're going to round it up, roll it over to the other side and down. And we're just going to keep rolling the rib cage around. And then go in the opposite direction. All right. And then take it all the way back to center. Roll your bottom back towards your heels. And then I want you to take your arms and extend them out and then take them wider than your mat. But if you're not using a mat, don't worry. Mats are not required for yoga practice. Wherever your practice space is, just take your arms a little bit wider than shoulder distance if you're not using a mat. And then I want you to cross your left arm over your right, like a cat stretching out its foreleg. And then rest your head down between your upper arms, like they're at a massage table. Shift your weight a little bit towards your left heel. Oh, so you just get this really nice, beautiful lateral stretch there. And then take that left arm back out wide to the left side. And we're just going straight to the other side. So now we're crossing right over left. And we shift the weight a little bit towards the right hip. And we let the head relax between the arms. And then take your hands back to a neutral position at about shoulder distance. Take a child's pose. We're just going to take Garbhasana. Let the forehead relax down. Oh, take a moment to sigh it out. And then start to lift the head, lift the heart. And just go ahead, and if you have a fold in your mat, go ahead and take that fold out. If you're using a towel, you actually can probably leave it there. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to slither on down onto your belly. I think we did actually do some of these last week, but we're going to, again, do some different things too. So what we're going to do here is we're going to bring the feet to about a hip distance stance behind us. And I want you to start with your elbows at shoulder distance. So you have that nice alignment between the elbows and the shoulders. Come up onto your forearms, and we're going to take a sphinx. So we roll the shoulders back and we open up through the chest, and we're just opening up here. That's it. Now, sometimes people can kind of collapse here and lose their necks. This is when they become sad turtles. Don't be a sad turtle, be a happy turtle. So you're going to lift it up. And then gently start to bring yourself down. Take one cheek to the floor. Just relax your arms. Oh, and take a moment just to sigh out. And to feel what it is in this moment to have your heart pressed to the earth. And bend up your right leg behind you. And you can either keep your chin or your forehead on the floor in front of you, or if you want to turn your left cheek to the floor, that should be okay too. And then just try to take hold of your right foot in your right hand, or if you're able, into both your right and your left. Oops, and someone's either joining late or got kicked out. So 1 second. Okay. So we're just holding that right leg here, starting to stretch into the quadricep. If your knee needed to go a little wide for you to get hold of that with the right hand, that's okay. All right, and then gently release. And if you had your left cheek on the floor, just go ahead and as you release and swap, turn the right cheek to the floor. So now we're holding that left foot. Okay. Gently release the foot, but I want you to keep that left leg up, okay? So left knee stays bent. And then I want you to take your hands to the floor at the sides of your chest. And you can look up here for a moment. We're going to do something that it requires a little more effort than everything else we've done so far. And it can be a little silly or even confusing if it's new to you, but again, just have fun, have a play. So we're going to take the hands down to the sides of the chest. That left leg is up in the sky. Then we are going to roll onto the right hip. But as we do, we're going to press that left foot down to the floor. And then we're going to inhale and lift the right arm up and lift up through the body as well. I like to lift right on up onto that left ball of the foot. And then we take the hip down. We roll back through center and we're going to swap. So that right leg bends And then we push through the foot. Oops, someone else is either joining late or got kicked out. 1 second person. And then we're going to lift it all the way up. So we're taking these variations on Wild Thing. There we go. Okay. So we're going to take a few more of these side to side. But again, I want you just to have a play. So I'll talk you through one last time, but just do it if you're already doing it. So we have the arms bent at the sides. Left knee is bent, and then we're going to roll onto the right hip. And as we do, we then push up into the right hand, lift the left arm up. Oh, take a nice long stretch. And then take it back down. I'm doing all kinds of nice things for the hip flexor, the back, and the chest here. Oh, take one more to each side. There was a, keep it going. There was a video of a famous Swedish yoga instructor, and it was some workshop, and he had his participants, I kid you not, doing this back and forth for at least 20 minutes. Oh, I'm not going to do that to you. Let's roll it back down to center now. Okay. And then once you come back to center, I just want you to take your arms, bring them to the sides of your body. Bring your chin or your forehead down to the floor in front of you. And then interlace your fingers behind your back. So palms coming towards each other. And then we're going to take an inhale. And then as you exhale, I want you to lift the head, lift the heart, lift the arms. And you're squeezing the legs toward each other, coming up into your boat, into Navasana. Guys, are you getting kicked out? Or it's okay if people are just coming when they can, but if you're getting kicked out, I don't know what to do. I'll let Zoom know because, yeah. All right. So you're going to lift it up into that boat. Yeah, of course, she's going to do that right in front of the mic, lick herself and have the bell jingling. All right. And then unwind your fingers, but keep your legs up. And then I want you to take your arms all the way out in front of you into superhero. And you're really going to feel that in your lower back. Exhale, take your arms, take your hands down. And then please, you have a couple options here. You can either place your forehead on the ground, or you can keep the head lifted. Some people feel a little claustrophobic here when they put their head down. So either way, I want you now to inhale, lift your right arm and your left leg. So it's opposite arm and leg here. So right arm, left leg. This is great for your lower back and your, it's actually good for your shoulders too, but yeah, for your lower back especially. And then we exhale and we take it down. And then inhale, go to the other side. So that left arm and right leg come up. And exhale it down. And I want you just to take a few of these now, side to side with your breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Okay, take one more to each side. And then gently, I want you to draw your hands back to your sides and place either your chin or your forehead to the floor in front of you. Bend your knees. We're going to take one last move here. So then I want you to take hold of your feet into your hands. I'm going to give you a few options though. If you struggle to get hold of the feet, try to take your knees a little wide first. If you still struggle to take hold of the feet, don't worry. If that's the case, rather than wrench yourself into a position, cross your ankles behind you, and then you're going to interlace your fingers behind your back. And in a moment, then you're going to lift your upper body. However, if your ankles are crossed, you are not lifting the knees, okay? Now, if you have hold of the feet, you can either flex the feet, so that's better if you have lower back sensitivities, or you can just let them naturally point a bit. Or sorry, what did I just say? Lower back sensitivities? I'm losing my mind. It's better if you have knee sensitivities. So if you flex your feet, it's better if you have sensitivities in your knees. Otherwise, you can just let the feet relax. Okay, so now we're going to take an inhale here. And then exhale, lift the head, lift the heart, lift the legs, coming up into bridge, into Dhanurasana. And just breathe, breathe, breathe. All right, exhale. Gently take it back down. And I want you just to release your legs. And if your hips go a little wide, walk your hips back into a hip distance stance. And you're just going to, sorry guys, you're just going to shimmy shake your hips a little bit side to side. And shake yourself back to center. Press yourself up and roll back towards a child's pose. So taking your bottom back towards your heels, forehead down, relax your arms. And just sigh out there. All right. And then from here, I want us to do something else that's really nice for the chest, the back, the quads, but also really great for the hips too. So just take a moment to look up here so you can see what we're going to do. So we're going to take the knees just a little bit wider. So rather than have them squared straight forward, they're just going to go a little bit wide. And then it's like a wide angle child's pose, the start of this. So we take the arms out in front, and then we're going to roll over the knees and we lift the toes up. We roll the shoulders back and we open up through the chest, pressing the pelvis toward the floor. I call this splashing fish. That is not the name of this. I have no idea what the name of this pose is called, even after 10 years of teaching. No idea. So we're then going to exhale, roll it back to a wide angle child's. And then we inhale and we roll it forward into that splashing fish or whatever it is. And we're just going to take these with the breath back and forth. So just join in when you're ready. And something to be aware of here, try not to lock out the arms and make your wrists and your joints sad. We roll the shoulders back as we come into that splashing fish, okay? Take one more set. Oh. And then this time as you come to that splashing fish, I want you to hold it. You're sending the hips forward, rolling the shoulders back, opening the chest, opening the belly. Breathe. Good things happening for the hip flexors here. Okay. Exhale, roll the bottom back to the heels. Take the forehead down. Take a moment just to relax in that wide angle child. Okay. And then I want you to lift the head, lift the heart. Come up onto your fingertips and spread your fingers nice and wide. So you've got these two starfish suctioning the mat. And then roll up towards your hands. Bring your knees back toward a hip distance stance. Curl the toes under behind you. And then send your hips back. Roll your shoulders back. And we take a downward facing dog and we just take that dog for a brief walk. And then push back into your full expression of that dog, rolling the shoulders back, sending the hips back, breathing into it. And then from here, that's all we're going to do to actually, no, we're going to add in one thing. So start to bend your knees, let your heels lift, and you're going to take a cross between a downward dog and a child's pose. My terrible joke for that is that you're coming into that mutt pose. Oh no, no one's coming back now. Okay, roll the shoulders back. So you're taking that mutt, that cross between down dog and child's. And that will feel a little strong compared to everything else that we've done. And then I want you to look up at your hands and you're either going to take a very, very soft hop forward, or if that doesn't feel right to you, step one foot and then the other forward. Okay. And then from there, I just want you to very gently either fall onto your bottom or help yourself down onto your bottom. Okay. I love it. He has a guitar lesson and he's playing, and I'm just going to tip the microphone a little bit more towards me, but sorry, the cord is all wound up on itself. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what I would like you to do now is take your legs out in front of you. Okay, and then once the legs are out in front of you, take a nice big inhale, lift through the arms. And then exhale. Gently bow down over the legs. Roll the hands back up. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, bow. Take a few more. All right. And then when next you inhale, lift it all the way up. And then I want you to flex your feet, sink your shoulders, lift the arms. So we come into Dandasana, into staff pose. And then exhale, hinge forward from your hips, reach out like you're trying to give a hug, but your legs are in the way. and then gently take your fingertips down to the ground. Roll the shoulders back. Take the heart forward. And then if that's enough, stay there. So if you have lower back sensitivities, stay like this with your heart pressing towards your feet. Otherwise, if it feels okay to your back, you're going to walk it down, taking your head down towards your knees. Now, some of you might use straps at home. You're always welcome to, or you might just hold on to your feet or onto your legs. All of these things are great. They're great so long as you're not using your feet or your strap as a tool for torture. Okay, so I want you to just allow these feet to be anchors, or your strap to be an anchor, rather than something to ever wrench you into a pose. That's how we get hurt. We want to stay unhurt. Okay. And start to lift the head, lift the heart. Slowly roll yourself all the way up, and then gently help yourself back, which might mean include bending the knees so that you can come all the way down onto your back. Okay. Turn a little bit. Okay. Once you've come down onto your back, just take a moment to sigh out. Okay. And then once you've sighed out, I want us to do a pose that I don't know if we've ever even done it in here. Maybe. So this is a stretchy pose, and it reminds me of 1980s aerobics, which I suppose works with the 80s style clothing that's going on these days. So, so what I would like you to do is I want you to throw your right arm out back behind your head, sorry. And then just start to roll, bend your knees and roll to your right side. Okay. Now, bend up your right elbow and just prop your head up in your right hand now. Let your left hand act as a kickstand out in front of you. Then I want you to take your legs and extend them straight out. Okay. Now you can either stay like this, or if it feels okay to you, you can take that right arm back out and let the right ear rest on it, just whatever you prefer. Then, going 1980s, we're going to lift that left leg up. Yeah, left leg up. I'm probably not mirroring you, actually. You're probably facing the other way than I am right now. It's fine. And then we take it up and down, and we just do a few of these. So we're working the outside of the hip, the inner thigh. Okay, take one more, and then this time when you come up, I want you to hold this here. Then see if you can take your left hand up to either take hold of the foot or the back of, or even the front really, of that leg. Okay. And you just straighten it out as best you can. If you're having a harder time, you can also prop the head back up and see what that feels like. Sometimes that can make it a little more accessible. So this is called the pose of infinity, Anantasana, the pose of infinity, because we want to stay here forever, right? I have no idea why. Okay. Oh, nice little leg stretch there. Start to release it. Oh. And then from here, gently, you're going to roll back through center, roll onto your back, and we are just going to swap right on over to the other side. You don't have to turn your screen or turn yourself around. I'm just turning myself around so that I can see you guys. So, well, you can see me, not my back anyway. So we're going to take, again, we're going, as we roll into the left side, we just first roll onto that left arm and left hip, and we start with the legs bent. Then we extend the legs out, and we can take the right hand down like a kickstand. And then you can either hold your head up into your left hand, or you can let it rest. And then we go aerobicize, we lift and down. Couple more. Okay. And then this time when you take it up, see if you can take hold of that right foot or leg. Again, feel free to prop up the head for that. Oh no, someone's either just joining or got kicked out. Keep holding this pose, guys. Okay. Start to gently release. Then from there, I want you to roll onto your back. And once you come onto your back, let's do a couple more things once you're on your back. So you're going to roll onto your back, and then I want you to draw your knees in towards your chest. Okay. And then from here, we're going to draw the knees in and then swing the knees out wide and then back together. And we just do a few of these hip circles. What this does is this increases the synovial fluid, or the lubricant of the hip joint. And this is just a great thing for your hips. And it's good for anyone, because for most of us, we spend a lot of time sitting. And then let's take it the other way. And when we talk about yoga for IVF and for fertility, it's difficult because, of course, we can only theorize based on the things that we know. And then we can also talk about things that certain medicines, like Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Indian medicine, might accept, but that Western medicine gets a little cagey about if we use certain terminology. So when we talk about, for example, storing emotions in the body, and yet Western science is quite happy to talk about cortisol and to talk about the ways in which stress affects the body. But that is also a storing of emotions. It's just different frameworks and different language, often for the same things. And so a lot of what we're doing in these sessions, yes, we're doing certain poses that are good for blood flow to the uterus, or we're doing poses that are known to help physiologically calm the body, which is good for reducing cortisol. All of these things are good for fertility in theory. And so, yeah, I love the science of things, but I also love the spirit of things. And I hope that you guys can kind of feel that in yourself, that you're spending time with your body. All right. Take it back to center. And the reason that I went on that tangent is because one of the things we talk about in yoga a lot is the idea that the hips are kind of like the junk drawer of the body for emotions. And of course, not everyone is going to accept that idea. But when we start to open up the hips, often people can get emotional, and that's a good thing because it's getting it out of your system, getting it out of your energy field in your body. Okay. Let's take the hands, one last pose. Take the hands up between the legs and reach for the insides of the feet. Tip your knees down towards your armpits and the soles of your feet up towards the sky. And we just come into this lovely hip opener here. Oh, breathe into it. Okay, and then gently start to release. Take the soles of the feet down to the ground, and if it feels okay to you, extend your legs all the way out. And then once you're here, just relax your shoulders. Relax your hands. Close your eyes. And just sigh out a few last times. And then once you've sighed out a few times, just let the natural rhythm of your breath take over again. And then from here, take a moment to again check in with your mind and just notice how it might be feeling, how it is compared to when you began. And if it's the same, it's okay. If it's different, it's okay. Likewise, notice how you're feeling. And then notice your body and anything there might be to notice. Just about how you physically feel in this moment. Then if you find that you feel a little more at ease or open, maybe just set the intention to even take 5 minutes every day just to breathe, to stretch, to just be fully in yourself. And then start to deepen your breath again. Draw some movement back into your fingers and into your toes. And then gently roll to one side when you're ready. And then bring yourself all the way back up to seated. And I'm not going to come to seated yet because I have a little tummy warmer here. But when you come back up to seated, just take your hands into prayer. And then gently bow, honoring your body, your light, your practice, and this earth. And thank you all so much for coming this evening. There we go. That's it for tonight.